So AMD just announced a couple of days ago at Computex of their Ryzen 3rd generation CPUs based on Zen 2 and also their new X570 chipset. And I just wanted to go over a little summary of everything they've said and also take a look at a couple of rumors that we've seen on the internet recently. So AMD has 5 CPUs that they've just announced, and they should be expected on July 7, 2019. The cheapest one comes at $199 and is the Ryzen 5 series CPU with 6 cores and 12 threads and a 65-watt TDP, running at 3.6 GHz base and 4.2 boost. On the top end, we now have a 9 series CPU with 12 cores and 24 threads and a 105-watt TDP. This one will get you 3.8 base and 4.6 boost and will cost $499, also available on July 7th. Now AMD has said that they're looking at a 15% IPC improvement, 2 times the cache size and 2 times the floating point performance. And when compared to a i7 9700K, their Ryzen 7 3700X is supposedly 1% faster in IPC, and in multi-threaded, it's 28% faster. Now, what's interesting is when compared to the original Ryzen 7 series, the 2000 series, it's 15% faster in single-threaded, 18% faster in multi-threaded, and the TDP is even lower. This is thanks to new 7nm technology. But what's interesting is there has been a little leak supposedly of a 16-core CPU. Now, the frequencies aren't exactly finalized. People are saying 4.2, some are saying 4.5 single core boost. But according to the Cinebench R15 benchmark, it's scoring around 43-46. Now, people like Gamers Nexus has told us that this is pretty much almost confirmed that it's coming. So I wouldn't be surprised if AMD does release a 16-core CPU after their release of the current CPUs that they announced. And the X570 chipset is a little interesting as well. So AMD is the first company to introduce PCI Express 4.0, which is supposed to give you, I think, 2 times the bandwidth of 3.0. And these are some slides from their keynotes. I'll let you guys look at these. And they're allowing up to 14 SATA 6 gigabit per second, 40 PCI Express 4.0 lanes, 4 high-speed USBs, and 12 super speed USB 10 gigabit per second. And in the competitor, they're saying it's basically 6 super speed, 4 high-speed USB, 8 SATA 6, and 0 4.0 lanes. And they're showing both Type A and Type C. The only issue for me is AMD doesn't have Thunderbolts or anything like Thunderbolt as far as I know. That's kind of a downer, but the good thing is USB 4 is supposed to have basically Thunderbolt 3 capabilities. This is an interesting slide. So they're saying 42% faster SSD in just one generation, and this is due to Gen 4. I think this is the most interesting thing about PCI Express Gen 4. GPUs already don't really saturate the 3.0x16 bus unless you have like a RTX Titan or 2080 Ti. But SSDs can really benefit from this. I actually have a 970 EVO in this laptop, which has a Z390 chipset, and it can saturate the DMI bus, but thanks to Gen 4, we can now, and this new chipset, we're now seeing higher read and write speeds, so RAID 0 and NVMe will be really nice on these new chipsets. And these are some motherboards, flagships that they're going to release. This is also interesting. So they're still using the same socket, Intel. You guys can learn a thing or two from this. And what's interesting is the X570 will support basically every CPU except for the 1000 series. And what's weird about that is the X470 will support all of them, all the way down to A320, except for, I guess, the A320 and B350 might not have support. I don't know why the A320 is missing a little dot here. Maybe that motherboard won't support it. But this is really nice, and I really would hope Intel would keep their current chipset, at least compatibility-wise, and release a new one. But it's Intel, and they haven't really shown this for a while, And another interesting thing is PCI SIG announced the PCI Express 5.0 specifications, which is supposed to be even 2 times faster than 4.0. And this is interesting because AMD just announced 4.0 support, and they just finalized 5.0 specification. And actually, AMD congratulated them on the 5.0, and they expect to bring the first 4.0 specifications this year on their CPU, and in the future 5.0. I'm not sure if Intel's new 10th generation Ice Lake will support this or not in their higher end models. Right now, we're only seeing like the lower end ultra low voltage style CPUs, but the desktop S series and whatnot might have 5.0. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. Next, we have the Navi gaming GPU. Now, this was a bit less information from them, but basically they're calling this the Radeon RX 5000 family, and they're calling this the RDNA architecture. I kind of like that name, but I don't know about this whole RX 5000. That's kind of interesting. They're probably just trying to one-up NVIDIA, but this is more like a 3-up. They went from 2000 to 5000 series. And they're saying that this is a new compute design, which is interesting, but what kind of makes me meh about this is they're saying 1.25 times higher performance per clock and up to 1.5 times performance per watt over GCN. But the thing about this is 7 nanometers, and another interesting thing about this is the GDDR6 memory. So it looks like they've given up on HBM, at least on the 5700 series. And the 5700 series will have more information in July 2019. They're going to have an E3 live event on June 10th, 3 p.m. So that's when we're probably learn a lot more about this. But so far it's looking okay. We've seen a little over RTX 2070 performance, but hopefully this is not their high-end GPU, and hopefully they're going to release a higher end GPU. I'm not sure if that's even gonna be a thing or not, because Lisa did say that the die is really small, and I would hope that they would make a bigger die with more cores and more performance, higher TDP, but we'll see about that. Anyways, guys, that's all I have right now for the AMD information. Hope you like this video. Hope it's a good summary for you guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.